Thanks, you guys. Okay.
Alrighty.
Should we get started?
Yeah.
All right, you guys, it's 12 o'clock on the button. Thank you very much for being here for another Unfold Digital. We're happy to be here, and we're going to do something kind of interesting today, I think. I spent a lot of time on an airplane over the past week. I was on vacation, and I just wanted to briefly share that sometimes if I don't sit properly on the airplane, or if I don't have the proper support in my spine, sometimes I kind of start to feel some lower back pain creep up, and it's something that I've dealt with kind of on and off for a while.
I think it led you to yoga and to doing this, right?
It did.
Sitting all day.
Exactly. When I used to work at my corporate job, sitting all day, it had an effect on my spine. And I've really been able to manage it with yoga and meditation. Like Nicole said, that's why I'm doing this. But I spent so much time traveling yesterday, and I think that this is something we could all kind of relate to. I spent, gosh, probably 3 hours in the car. My flight was delayed, so I was sitting at the airport for like 3 hours, and I had a 3-hour flight. Then I had to take a train, and it was just train, bus, car, airplane, airport all day. And when I woke up this morning, I just noticed right away, like, kind of feel that stiffness, kind of that pain in my lower back. So I thought that I would share with you guys today what I do when that pain flares up and how I prevent it from spiraling into something that could be really debilitating for me. It's kind of my little lower back tune-up for when I'm traveling a lot and sitting a lot, and I think it's really applicable to all you folks out there sitting in offices.
And Katie does a lot of yoga for this, but also physical therapy and other modalities. So don't think that this is just a yoga thing. It's really just a health of your low back thing that we'll touch on today.
Good point. All right, so we are going to get started. Hey, Marianne, and I see some folks here that I've spoken with directly about low back pain. So you guys are really in the right place today. So we're going to work on some standing poses. We're going to work on moving the spine gently and building some strength back up into the core, the abdominal wall, the obliques, and also the muscles of the lower backs and lower back and the hips. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. So we'll start with a little bit of seated warm up. Nicole's going to join me for that, and then she's going to hop off, and I'm going to lead you guys through our standing sequence. So start sitting well, bring the feet onto the floor, place the hands either on your desk or into your lap, either is fine. Close your eyes, start by taking a few deep breaths in and out of your nose. So just settling into that deep, steady breath, noticing the way that the body is feeling right now, the way that your mind is behaving at this moment. Just welcoming yourself into the practice. Relax the eyes, the jaw. Let go of any tension in the abdomen. Take about 3 more breaths here, slightly lengthening, slightly deepening each inhale and exhale. And taking a moment to scan the body, especially if you are dealing with any sort of physical discomforts like I am right now, I just shared, or even if it's something else in your body, just taking a moment to sit with it, to be really present with what it is that you're feeling is such a wonderful first step in moving and breathing in a way that's supportive. All right, let's lower the chin down towards the chest. Slowly open up your eyes, and let's just start with some gentle neck rolls from side to side. No specific way of moving here. Just start to move the head in a way that feels good, in a way that feels like you're getting some release through the neck, the shoulders, the jaw. Continue to focus on that deep, steady breath. Do one more from side to side. And then pause with the chin down towards the chest. And let's lift the head back up to neutral. And we'll move through our happy spine sequence. So reach your arms straight up. Let's interlace the fingers, press the heels of the hands high, and we'll start going side to side. So start with a big breath in. We'll go up and over to the right as you exhale. And inhale back up to center. Exhale up and over to the left. Inhale center. Exhale. Inhale center. And exhale. Let's do one more like that. Inhale center. Exhale up and over to the right. Inhale center. Exhale up and over to the left. Okay, let's pause at the top. Interlace those hands right behind the head. Right? And we're just going to stay here in our seated cow pose. So lean back and look up. And the reason that I'm staying here today for me when my lower back pain flares up, it's really better for me, for my spine to be in a position of extension, which is what the spine is right now. Kind of arching the back, lifting the chin, moving the low back into that extended position. It's a healthy position for the discs. We'll take a couple more breaths here. So this to me feels really good. It starts to immediately eliminate some of that nerve discomfort that I feel after sitting for a long time. One more breath. Okay, then come on back up to center and we'll do a really gentle twist. So lower the arms. Let's just twist to the right, any amount. And for me today, I'm not going to twist very much. I'm going to keep my twist really minimal. Nicole's going to go maybe a little bit deeper. And if your low back is feeling good today, go ahead and twist as deeply as you can. I'm keeping the twist small and really in the upper back. When things are inflamed or irritated, for me, it's helpful to minimize my twisting in the beginning. When things start to feel better, we'll want to work through all of those ranges of motions again. But for now, little baby twists. Okay, let's come on back to center and go the other way. So twist to the left any amount. I'm going to go just a little bit, just really working on twisting through the upper back and the neck. My low back is very neutral. Nicole's going a little bit deeper. Just breathe into it. Each time you inhale, see if you can get a little bit more length and lift through the crown of the head. And each time you exhale, bring a little bit more tone to your belly. Twist a little bit deeper. And you can kind of let that tension unwind from the upper back. Let's do 2 or 3 more breaths here. Okay, with the next inhale, unwind your twist. Come on back to center. Let's reach the arms straight up. One last stretch here. Another interlacing of the fingers. Press the heels of the hands high. Now for this one, we just want to get as tall as we can. You can close your eyes if you like. Practice really breathing deeply into the whole body. So the rib cage, the front, the back, the sides of the rib cage. And on your exhale, practice getting really strong. So you're drawing the navel towards the spine. You're engaging the muscles around your spine. Let's do one more big breath here. Big breath in, get as tall as you can. And exhale, hug it in. Okay, and then release. Open up your eyes. Good. Thanks for joining me for warm-ups. All right. So I'm going to move into some standing postures now and show you guys some of the things that I like to do, like I said, when I'm experiencing a little bit of a flare-up. So I'm using my dining chair here. You can use any chair for this. You can use your office chair. You can also do this standing up against your desk. That's completely fine too. You just need a surface to rest your hands on. So a desk, a table, or any sort of chair will work just fine. So I'm going to start with extending the lower back. We call this standing camel. So my feet are about hips distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. I'm going to place my hands right into the small of my back, like this, right? And again, we're going to work with the breath. So as you inhale, really work on lifting your collarbones up. And as you exhale, gently press the pelvis forward. Okay, then inhale, come back to neutral, and then do it again. Exhale, press. I'm going to do this about 8 times. So you keep going with me. Inhale to come up, and exhale to extend the spine. So if you're somebody who's had lower back issues, who's had herniated discs, bulging discs in the lower back, chances are you've probably done this movement in physical therapy. It's also a yoga pose. But what we're doing is we're moving the lower back into a little bit of a deeper extension with the intention of pressing the lumbar discs forward towards the navel. That's a really good direction of movement for the spine. We want to be able to extend the spine. So it's good if you're having lumbar disc pain like I am, but it's also a good move to do if you're relatively healthy in the spine. Okay, let's do one more like this. Inhale up and exhale, press forward. Okay, inhale back up to center and come back into mountain pose. Close your eyes. And immediately I can already feel some relief here. So it feels like a little bit less tension in the lower back. It feels a little bit less achy. When we take these breaks between our yoga postures to focus on the breathing, it helps us to really reflect and see what we're feeling, notice what we're feeling, notice the effects of the pose. Just one more breath. Good. Okay, now open up your eyes. Now we're going to work with a hip hinge. So oftentimes what was happening to me when I was sitting at the airport yesterday, I was kind of slouched in this position. My tailbone was kind of scooped under, and I was just kind of doing a sloppy sit all day. I wasn't really paying very good attention to my body. So to help us get out of that, we're going to work on a hip hinge, and then we will apply our hip hinge to downward dog and a variation of warrior 3. So from here, feet are hips distance apart, hands are on my hips. And I'm not rounding my spine. My knees are going to be a little bit bent, and I'm tipping the pelvis forward. So you guys can see my hips are moving. My spine is staying really neutral. Tip the pelvis forward. This is called our hip hinge in yoga, and come back up to stand. All right, so getting back into this range of motion with the pelvis becomes really, really therapeutic for me. The other thing that it does is it starts to strengthen the muscles of the lower back. It kind of starts to turn these guys on again from being really overstretched. Okay, and then I'm going to pause in my hip hinge for a few breaths. My knees are soft. Keep the belly strong. Okay. I'm going to work with an arm movement. So we'll lower the arms down, and I'll work with the breath here. And what we're doing, take a big breath in, reach the arms forward, and exhale, lower the arms back down. So keep doing that at your own pace. And what we're doing here is we're increasing the lever. And every time I reach my arms forward, it's creating a little bit more weight for the back muscles to hold up. Inhale. And exhale. I'm going to do this one more time, and then we'll hold. So inhale forward, exhale back. I'm going to come right up into a chair pose. I'll lift up through the chest, send the hips back, and look up. So this position again, my spine, my lower back is pretty neutral. I'm working on moving the weight into the heels and engaging the backs of my legs. And I'm stretching my arms forward and up as far as I can to really find that length in the spine. And I'm using my exhale to engage the belly. So chair pose. Let's do 2 more breaths here together. Really working on keeping that belly strong, but the spine is relatively neutral. Good. Okay, exhale back into your mountain pose. Okay, and then close your eyes. Lower the arms down by your sides. You can bring your hand to your lower belly if you want. We're going to work on taking 3 or 4 deep diaphragmatic breaths. So anytime the body is experiencing discomfort or pain, can kind of tighten up and tense up. So taking a few deep mindful breaths is helpful to unwind some of that and get us into more of a relaxed state. All right, open up the eyes and we'll do our desk dog next. So your hands are either going to come onto your desk or your table or onto the back of your chair and start to walk the feet back in space. And again, I'm keeping my spine neutral. I'm not rounding my back, I'm keeping it neutral. My knees are bent. And just like we worked in that hip hinge, I'm going to send the hips back and stretch my arms forward and let the head relax. And from this position, I'm going to work with my breath. So each time you inhale, again, it's all the same. We inhale, we find as much length as we can in the spine. And as you exhale, engage the belly, draw the navel towards the spine, squeeze your arm muscles. When you continue to practice deepening your breath in this pose, what you'll start to feel is not only the breath move into the belly, but it's also going to move into the lower back. So there's a fullness through the low back, and it feels really nice. It's a way that we can start to release any muscle spasms or tension or gripping. Let's do one more breath here. Trying not to overly scoop the tailbone or round the spine, working on length first. Prioritize the length in the spine. Okay, and then look forward and step forward. And let's come back into our mountain pose, Tadasana. So face forward, feet underneath the hips. Let's open up the palms to face forward, really lift up through the chest, relax the shoulders, and take 5 mindful deep breaths. So I'm noticing some sensations in my lower back, and it doesn't feel painful. It just feels like kind of a lengthening sensation would be the best way that I can describe it. It feels like there's some circulation happening there. There's a slight, it's almost like a pressure valve was just kind of dialed back a little bit. Let's take one more breath. And then open up your eyes. Good. Reach both of the arms straight up in space. Interlace your fingers. Take a big breath in. Press the heels of the hands high, 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 as high as you can. Belly strong, legs strong. Good. And exhale. Release. Back to mountain pose. All right, how am I doing on time? Is it 12:20? 12:18. Okay, we're just gonna do one more quick one. So this is to start to rebuild some of that strength in the lower back. So it's a warrior 3 variation. I'm gonna come back into my desk dog shape, okay? So I'm not gonna stretch all the way forward, but I'm gonna keep my chest lifted a little bit, and I'm going to bring my feet together. So from here, we're gonna work on lifting the leg with the breath. We're gonna do 3 on each side. I'm gonna do my right leg first. We'll inhale, lift that leg up. Do your best to keep your pelvis nice and neutral, and exhale, lower it back down. Try this a couple more times. You can also lower onto the forearms. Inhale to lift that leg, and exhale to lower it. One more. Inhale, and exhale. And then we'll do the same thing on the second side. Move at your own pace. Don't round the back. Keep a nice neutral spine. Inhale, lift the left leg. And exhale, lower. So what I'm feeling is the hamstring and the glutes are engaging. So are the muscles along my lower back and along the sides of the waist. It takes a lot to stabilize your body in this position. Dynamic warrior 3. Okay, and then we'll come on back up. Let's take a big breath in. And relax back into mountain. Okay, so take a seat. Bring yourself back into your chair. Right. And sit well. And we'll just do 5 mindful breaths here. So close your eyes, bring hands to lap or hands to your table, relax the shoulders. And sense your spine. Bring your attention to your lower back. Just notice what you're feeling there. Notice any sensations. If you do tend to be a little stiffer or achy in the low back, notice if you feel a little bit less tension. Or if you're having any sort of lower back flare up like I am, notice if there's a slight reduction in pain. Okay, lower the chin down towards the chest. Now let's open up the eyes, lift your gaze, reach your arms up, take a big breath in as big as you can, and we're gonna let it out of the mouth. One more like that, big breath in, let it go. Great, okay. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you feel a little stronger in the core, a little more supported in the lower back, and you have a little bit better of an idea of how the pelvis moves to maintain nice alignment through the spine. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to type them in below. We'll spend a couple of minutes online answering any questions that come up. And as always, we will be sending through this replay if you guys want to watch it again. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a great day. Namaste.